Tucker Carlson and Jimmy Dore reported on the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted on all 5 counts. 2 first-class first-degree murder charges, 2 first-class first-degree reckless endangerment charges, and the charge of possessing a weapon. I would advise viewers to watch the raw footage. Rittenhouse was innocent. Rosenbaum chased Rittenhouse across the car park as Rosenbaum's accomplice fired the first shots at Rittenhouse. Huber, Grosskreutz, and the rest of the lynch mob chased Rittenhouse down the road. Rittenhouse fell, and one of the lynch mob kicked him in the face before Huber smacked him with a skateboard. And as Glenn Greenwald reported, in the last week there was someone beaten to death at a protest with a skateboard. So that point should be remembered. Grosskreutz pulled a pistol on Rittenhouse before advancing on Rittenhouse. This is while Rittenhouse was lying on the ground. Anna Kasparian, to her credit, I don't think I need to enlighten viewers of my negative opinion of her, reversed her position when she realised she had got the facts wrong and that it was Rosenbaum who chased Rittenhouse across the car park and not vice versa. And I'd like to say one young Turk still has their balls, and it's not who we would have expected. Another thing, Jesse Waters pointed out on Waters World that Kyle Rittenhouse showed massive restraint. If it was any of us in that situation, including myself, I would not have shown such restraint with people who are trying to kill me, especially if I had an AR-15. On a related note, Andrew Coffey IV was acquitted after police broke into his home, murdered his girlfriend, and tried to murder him before he used his Second Amendment rights to defend himself. And I thought it was beautiful symmetry that the Rittenhouse case and the Coffey case ended with their acquittals on the same day. Both were clearly self-defense, unless you have a biased ideological view that leads you to a different conclusion. Anyone looking at the facts of these cases knows that both cases were self-defense. Live Action reported that Ohio led a 12-state lawsuit against Biden and Harris's administration to halt federal funding of abortion. CNN reported that the Democratic People's Republic of Korea can produce more uranium than it is currently producing. Yahoo reported that the French Navy are trying to enforce UN sanctions on the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Hod Yemen news agency reported that Yemen shot a United States drone down over Marib. Evolution News reported that all living cells are cognitive. Checkmate on the sentence justification for abortion. Workers Today reported that the Communist Party of Burma declared war on the Tatmadaw. I would say that's a based move. Al Jazeera reported that the United States predicts China could have 1,000 nuclear warheads by 2030. The Irish News reported that Edwin Poots said that the EU is igniting a trade war with Britain and that would weaken the six counties' place in the British state. Oh no, how terrible. Russia Today reported that Rolls-Royce will make miniature nuclear reactors. That's good news for humanity. Earth Mission reported that a scientist resurrected an extinct frog while learning fuck all from Jurassic Park. What did they use to fill in the gaps in the dinosaurs' DNA in that film and book? Oh, frogs' DNA. Like, these people are totally unaware of themselves. No self-awareness whatsoever. The BBC reported that Portugal banned bosses messaging workers outside of work hours. And that is a good thing. Because, as we know, workers under modern capitalism have less free time than medieval slaves. That's great, isn't it? Business Insider reported that China overtook the United States as the world's biggest economy. And a wee dig at the EU here, so it wasn't the Fourth Reich. Yeah, how's that ever closer union going? The BBC reported that Shell will move their headquarters to Britain, but apparently all the corporations were going to flee once Brexit happened. Doesn't seem that way. Seems like it's business as usual, and the multinational corporations are still using Britain as a tax haven. But tell me more about how the Benites are anti-Semites. Go on. Live Action reported that the New York Attorney General dismissed a case against pro-life sidewalk counsellors. In my opinion, rightly so, because trying to help young mothers in need is not a crime, and it shouldn't be a crime, and it will never be a legitimate crime. Variety and Digital Music reported that the Saudi government bought Live Nation shares, 12,565,167 of them, which amounts to 6.5% of Live Nation's shares, for $500 million in April 2020, They are now worth $1,400,000,000 now. But there's no corruption or insider dealing. Don't worry your pretty little head about it. Space Mania reported that Spin Launch launched a rocket without fuel by spinning it at a high revs per minute rate. And Fox News reported that Biden's approval rating is 36%. This is lower than Pete Buttigieg's approval rating. The only person with an approval rating lower is, you guessed it, Vice President Kamala Harris.